Hey everybody, and welcome to the 13th Arrow episode of Season 1, Betrayal! So, this episode finally begins with Oliver questioning the list, even though he had a perfectly good opportunity to do that earlier.
Yeah, but now that he knows that Moira is involved with it, it's all the more reason to question it.
Yeah, the episode picks off pretty much where the last one ended off, with him finally questioning the list, and he does question Moira, which that to me is obviously, even though it's treated as the B plot, it's the more interesting plot than the other plot we have.
Yeah, exactly. The main plot didn't really interest me.
Yeah, no, the main plot had some good points, it's just not the most interesting part. But we finally that's the thing, we finally have Oliver curious about Moira, but he is blindsided at first, which is something that happened several times.
Yeah, once again, Diggle is right.
But the interesting thing about this is Diggle should have said a certain something. If you think about it, this episode is kind of a reverse of Trust But Verify. Because in that episode, Diggle was a bit blindsided at first. Oliver had to go around and show him, oh, you should always question things, not blindly trust. Why didn't Diggle bring that up and say, hey, you taught me a valuable lesson?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because he trusted that guy that he worked with or something.
Yeah, but like you said, this episode, once again, Diggle is always right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, that plot didn't take up much of the episode, but it finally picks up at the ending, which leads into something great next episode.
Yeah. Trust seems to be a huge theme of the season, especially this episode.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. That kind of was tying into the other plot. The other plot, because there's a whole Laurel and her father trusting each other.
Yeah, everyone tells Laurel she shouldn't trust the vigilante, and she does.
Yeah, but okay, that's the thing. This plot became good and bad. At first I was thinking, okay, it's just another plot. And we did get to see that some of the police actually do prefer the vigilante. But then they go and try and take him down. And I think, okay,
yeah, because the others, they don't mind letting him go. It was Lance that convinced them.
Exactly, but as I was going to say, at first I'm thinking, okay, it's just a standard Lance episode. But then I remembered which episode this was, and it's the episode where they have to team up, which has that great bit at the end I like.
Yeah, I guess he was just desperate because, the guy asked for the vigilante. He's the only one that could have saved it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I can't remember how much they go against each other, but I think it's one of the first times Quentin starts to trust the vigilante a bit more.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing, I can't remember, because they do backflip on that so much for the first 3 seasons.
One thing I liked about the bad guy is that at one point he mentioned both the Triad and the Burton Alleys.
Oh, yeah.
It's just interesting to mention other characters, even if they're not in the episode.
Yeah, I always like because it keeps the canon alive, basically.
Yeah, it shows that these people all know each other's existence.
But like we said, that plot, although it had some good points, it definitely was the weakest of the 3 major plots.
Yeah,
to me, the favourite is the flashbacks.
I guess so. It was alright.
I mean, how could it not be alright? This is the episode where we finally meet one of my favourite characters. Well, it is. It's the episode where we finally meet Slade.
He just doesn't interest me that much.
Oh, come on. Everything he does, that's the thing, even when he's testing Oliver, he always gives good advice.
Yeah, I guess I just don't remember him that well.
Well, there you go then. We'll see what you feel about him. It's only the first episode.
Yeah.
But I think to be fair, I think of all the people we've seen in this season so far, I think Slade Wilson is probably one of the biggest names in terms of connection to the comic books, which is why even if you're somebody who hasn't seen the show before but you know the comic books, this episode will also excite you.
Yeah, because you've been wondering what are they going to do with him.
Yeah, but that's the thing, yeah. But like I said, all of this episode, it's great, but it just reminds me of how much I love the next episode. next episode is absolutely one of my favorites of season 1. Possibly even my favorite of the season.
Yeah, I think I sort of know something that's coming, and I guess that's pretty
That's
good.
true, I wasn't even thinking of that part, but I think I know what you're thinking.
You can read my mind now.
Yes, it's. I'm guessing it's involving a character who didn't show up this episode.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. After that happens, but that's the thing. This episode.
The most interesting part of the episode to me was just the ending, which is basically setting up the next episode.
That's true. The later part of the episode where Oliver finally realizes he just has to accept something's going on is when this episode gets interesting, and when the season gets interesting too.
Yeah.
Because it's finally bringing the Moira subplot into the forefront.
Yes.
Because it hasn't really, other than a quick encounter with the Dark Archer in episode 9, Oliver hasn't really gone toe-to-toe with the main plot of the season much.
Yeah. That's why most people don't like season 1, is that we don't get much of the main plot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes they like to have the main plot pretty active straight away. Sometimes they take a while for it to kick in.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This episode, it's a good episode, but it's also not as jam-packed as certain other episodes. Like, it has 3 subplots, and you can sum them up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But that being said, I can't think of much. That being said, there wasn't much about this episode I didn't like.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't
Also,
like it.
was Thea even in this episode?
No.
Exactly. See, she wasn't in this episode. Oh, I know she was at the beginning. She was at the beginning.
Yeah.
She was at the beginning because she's working for CNRI now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but it just I didn't enjoy it that much. I'd probably just go like 5.5.
Oh,
Maybe 6. Maybe 6.
oh you come on. This was a good episode.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Exactly. It's got to be a good episode. First off, considering you've given higher ratings to episodes you could think of bad things about,
I'll just go for 6.
I'm probably going to go for a 7.5. This is already a good episode. There hasn't been any bad parts. Like, the Tommy stuff, not bad. There wasn't any bad stuff with Tommy and Laurel. He wasn't in it much, and the stuff he was in just connects to the plot about Laurel and other people wondering whether or not the vigilante's good.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everyone else in Laurel's life is saying he's bad.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings up a good point. Other than those police people, we haven't seen people other than Laurel actually like the vigilante.
Yeah.
Everyone else is still disapproving of him.
I guess so. Even though one of the police guys said, well, he stopped the fire guy and the Christmas kidnappings and whatever
That's
else.
said. Other than those police people, we haven't really seen anyone else be supportive.
I mean, the news called him a hero once.
Oh, no. Wait, when? Not was it in this episode?
No.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was from the Christmas kidnappings.
It might have been. It probably was actually. It probably was. No. It was a fire episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a fire episode.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the thing. This episode, a good episode, but can be summed up very quickly because all the 3 plots. It felt like a short episode.
Yeah, it did.
Because I guess the plot we weren't interested in the most was also the one that took up the most time. Because the Moira stuff is still in the background until the very end. And flashbacks usually don't take much. Except for next episode.
Oh, God.
Next episode is, I believe, the first time we have an entire episode, or pretty much most of an episode devoted to flashbacks.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, I don't know. I love next episode, but we're here for this episode, which this episode was good. It's 7.5. What are you giving it?
I'll stick with 6.
Alright, well, at least we're not agreeing, which is something we've been doing a lot lately.
Yeah. Like, the past 3 arrows have been, like, perfect agreements.
Well, next Arrow is episode 14, The Odyssey, and one of the best Arrow episodes of the season, so join us next time for that.